Bayama is actually somebody who grew up in Spurs, in Tottenham, brother, and he has an academy here. He says that good morning, I would like to invite him over to visit the academy kids. How long are you here? But we'd love to see you visit the academy.
Where is he based?
He's around Kampala.
I'll do it.
Can arrange that and visit the academy. Okay, Patrick, he says that he can't come and see the boys how they are. Another message here is from a guy called Tony. He says that, Ruben, thanks for the show. Thank you for bringing up George to the UBC screens. Indeed, you are the national broadcaster. I would want to ask George, how long has he followed the national team?
How long
have you followed the national team?
To get in?
Have you followed the national team?
Since I was a child.
Okay.
Where else?
So James says that by the look of things.
Let me not. Sorry, to go back to that question. There's a difference between following and believing that it's your time. The whole time I've been studying who's been there before me.
Okay.
So when the legend was in goal before, I've got a vision board in my room, and it's a picture of the national team. Okay. So every time I've been working, it's always been, how do I get that opportunity? How do I get that opportunity? Because in England you've got the Premier League, and I think it's 0.1% or 0.9% players from the UK can actually make it into the Premier League. But there's a few that do it, the Jamie Vardys. Yes. So there's people like that who remind you that in football you can do something incredible, which is why that Uganda team has been on my vision board for this long to make me say, one day I'll do this, one day.
Okay, James says that from the look of things, I see a tower, Ruben, next to you. I've always bragged that you're the tallest man in Uganda until George comes into Uganda to dwarf you. He has dwarfed you. But my question is, where can where can we train with him to see how good he is? Okay, Jim, you don't have to train with somebody to know how good he is. Just go to YouTube and see the clips. If not, wait when he gets his debut for the national team. That's when you will see how good George is. You can't ask how good he is before watching him play. And you only ask the national team to give him a chance in a friendly somewhere against Malawi. Let's have George in goal, and then you come back and say he's a good goalkeeper. He can do it. We do what ONYANGO used to do, but you can't start saying that you're going to.
He does ask a good question, because he could type on YouTube SE Dons, okay. So SEDONS, or he could type in Big G, which would be BIG_GKAM. Okay. So these are places as well as Soccer AM. So there's more than enough places where you can find footage. But like you say, let's get the game on. Yes, let's get the game on.
Do you do it?
What are you waiting for? Let's get the game on.
If I'm a good boxer, I have to face you in the ring to see if you can be
sparring and punching and punching.
Yes. So let's have the his debut and then judge him after one game and say, oh.
Why did you say Malawi?
No, Malawi is a team that we have always asked out to play in the friendly, and they have accepted. Yes. They have not let us down. And always good get good results against.
Yeah. Okay, so that would be a nice debut.
Yeah. So Julian says that I would love to get his contact. He's a good contact, and he did talk about the youth, and of course Uganda has lacked a man like him, who would come out and speak facts about motivating the youth and encouraging them that they can be the next stars. Oh yes, that's from Hassan.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Hassan.
Then Solomon says that, Ruben, good morning. Good to have George on the show. But where is SE Dons and what is SE Dons?
So SE Dons is the biggest grassroots team in the UK and the world. Yeah. We promote hard work and dedication. We're on YouTube and we're sponsored by people like Puma, and what we're trying to do is motivate more people to play football at the highest level, you know. And the way we're doing that is by the simple message: never forget where you come from. True. So if you play on the muddy pitches and they're not flat, and then you see those people playing on the grass pitches, and you think, oh that's perfect. I wish I was playing there. That's what will ground you. That's what will get you to the top. When you're in a normal car, maybe even a bicycle, or walking to school, and then you see people with the nice cars driving past you, don't worry. When you get to that top level, you remember where you came from. When you go from not having anything possible to then getting to the top, you always have to remember, you've got to play here before you play there. So it's the grounding that we're trying to encourage. and that's what I represent, and it comes from being able to humble yourself and having somebody above you, which is God. So that's why SE Dons has been able to reach so many people all over the world. I arrived in Entebbe Airport, I met a Ugandan SE Don supporter straight away. Straight away. That's what SE Dons is. It's global.
Okay, another message here comes from him, that's the name, who says that good to have George on the show, and of course let's look out for other stars like him to grace our national team. But the question, Ruben, is who is his footballing idol, both locally and internationally?
So you already know my local one.
Don't
you dare say Bevis. Don't you dare. Don't you dare say Bevis. It's crazy. So my actual one was Peter Schmeichel, the Great Dane, and I work with Soccer AM, which is a live television show in the UK, and I was actually able to meet him and speak to him, and it was incredible because again it showed I'd worked so hard to go from here to then meeting him was an incredible experience, and he even said to me, "You can do it." And it's the message I tell anyone who's working hard. I always say to them, my goal is to play for Uganda. That is what I've always dreamed about doing, and to do something that incredible, I can only imagine how many people it will reach, because it will show you that hard work, dedication can get you anywhere. And it's somebody who doesn't think like me was very thinking, why does this mean so much to you? Do you know where I come from? Do you know where my family's from? I've never asked for anything. I'm not here because I'm the son of the late Jimmy McGinney. I'm not here because of that. You're not here. It's because I've earned the right to be here. So I've never asked for anything. The thing I'm asking for now is an opportunity. But that's still not saying I want it to be given to me, but I've got to earn it.
That's very good. That comes on a silver plate. He wants to earn it. He wants to make his debut. He wants to show that he can be that goalkeeper they want. He can be a certain Donnarumma in Uganda here, and you can make him a Donnarumma if you have confidence in him, give him a chance, and or maybe a Thibaut Courtois. Jagana loves Thibaut Courtois. But anyway, Tom says that in Uganda here, Ruben, we have our clubs we support, and we have our idols. Okay, this idol, like you said, is the Big Den, the man kept going Man U. That's Peter Schmeichel, the father to Kasper Schmeichel at Leicester City. So that is his idol. If you want him to mention Messi, he cannot. Now on your screen is his idol, and that's the Big Den goalkeeper, Peter Schmeichel. The man who stepped the penalty in 99 when Arsenal played Man U. Backup stepped up, and everybody thought it's a goal. And the commentators say that this one did Peter Schmeichel. He came up and made that big save, and then qualification to the next to the finals.
Don't forget, he also won in the Euros.
Okay, in '92. That is true. Anyway, but we love Peter Schmeichel so much. People thought that they would mention about Messi, Maradona,
I don't like
You want keepers and defenders.
I don't like stress.
So who's your best defender?
Rio Ferdinand. And he grew up not too far from obviously where I grew up as well.
Okay.
And he played for Manchester United. And
You
he was
love
a captain.
You love Man U.
It's breaking my heart now, but I love him. But
So which of the Manus do you love? The Ferdinand?
we have to. We're not going to see that for a while. But Ten Hag has got a big job in front of him. But Man United breaks your heart. Even Ronaldo's talking about leaving.
You don't listen to hear that. Anyway, we have another question here, or comment from the guy is called FDC. I don't know whether it's a political party or a name, but it says that I am glad that there's someone who comes out to say I don't want anything but to play for my national team. That is patriotism, Ruben. You have always preached patriotism, Ruben, and now that is the man who has showed more patriotism to Ugandans than anyone else. Can you give him a chance, Fufa? Okay. That's from FDC. Fufa, I know Fufa is people from far watching, from Mengo. Kajoba, Fred, you are watching Kisitu. This is a goalkeeper who wants to be part of the national setup, and he doesn't want you to think that he's looking out for it. He wants to earn it. He wants to show you that I can keep goal, and I can be that big keeper you want to replace Dennis Onyango. Maybe he wants to be himself, not an Onyango, but himself, and he knows that he can represent the country, and we get back to what we used to be as a national team. Just imagine George Kamurasi in goal and Bevis plus other defenders be in front of him, and we bring back the Africa Cup of Nations at home. That is 23 if we get a chance to qualify. I think we will. And with him in goal, maybe we can, maybe we cannot. Anyway, Germany is currently producing over 700 professionals every year for different leagues. That's Bundesliga, Premier League, La Liga, Serie A. And this investment has helped them produce some of the best players and coaches. How can we build academies here to nurture talents that can be exported to the rest of the world?
So, whoever sent that in, is that you who said that?
Yeah.
That means you're good at your job. If that's you, you're incredible at your job. If not, whoever got you that fax is incredible. Give that person.
Let me own it. Yeah, okay. Hold on.
So in that case, I was going to say investment, and relationships are key. You must understand that the professional clubs have to build relationships with their local communities.
Yes.
That's how you get the best talent rising to the top, as well as being able to make things global. Uganda needs support from these other leagues. How many Premier League players have we got? How many Bundesliga players have we got?
No.
How many in the Scottish Premier League? Obviously you've got the likes of it, and there's others that have been there. But we have to build those links with the strong teams to then be able to give back to the grassroots. And you talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. Manchester United formed a relationship with Sporting Lisbon, and then you've got the players from Madeira coming through and other places. People like, you've got Atletico Bilbao, they only sign players from that actual area.
Yes.
Because they understand the importance of rising talent from there.
Yes.
Uganda needs to build relationships all over the world to be able to do these things. That's the best way of doing it.
Okay, the two idols in front, in the middle is actually George Kamurasi, the SC goalkeeper, and these two idols, that's Peter Schmeichel, the Big Ten.
Can you see who they play for? Can you see who they play for? They both play for Man United.
That's true.
It's heartbreaking to see. No, but those are.
But I have issues with Man U. I've actually mocked you with questions here about money, but I won't go there because I've seen the Man U.
Well, who do you support?
I support it.
So you went for the Italian league,
for the Maldinis and the Nestas and Serie A. But anyway, Jalen loves Chelsea.
I keep hearing whispering Chelsea.
He loves Chelsea.
You know what, John Terry, I'm somebody who I know as well. I'm going to share this with him and tell him that we found a Chelsea supporter.
Okay.
So make sure
the man with hair.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Okay, back to this, George. I know that you, as we wind up, because time is not our best ally, I know that your desire to play for the national team, you feel inside you that I can play for this team, I can contribute to my country, and I like that, I love that. Few can come out to say that I can contribute to my country. So, if you are given a chance to play for the national team, what message would you have for the youngsters?
I think it's easier said than done, but God is good. And the reason I say that is because when I lost both my parents, I couldn't understand why. I lost my mum when I was 14, my dad when I was 26. My sister lost both her parents at 18. She's my younger sister. And when she would ask me, like, why has this happened, I would always say the same thing. I believe in God, and He's good all the time. So whether you believe that this is unfair or just trust in Him. So when you're in a situation where you don't know why you're in this pain, I'd say pray. I'd say pray, and God is good all the time, for your good and your dark times. And when you feel like you're alone, that's when He's carrying you, and you don't know it sometimes, and you have that doubt. But I would be saying that in this situation, this is a testimony to God's power. So if you're in a situation where you don't know why you're going through a rough patch or you're going through a really good patch, never forget. I have my screensaver says, God, never let me get too busy to the point that I forget you or I can't hear you. So those children and adults who are out there, I'd be saying, never lose your faith and keep going.
Wow, that's a wonderful message from George. And from that, I cannot add on unless George has something else to say. Anything else to say, George?
Thank you. We're running on, sir.
Okay, that's been George, and I know that